Welcome back to the SXmini UK Facebook page, and for that matter the SXmini UK YouTube channel as well. Today we're taking a look at this. So this is the second of 3 new releases from SXmini just before Christmas of last year. The third release is the square battery version of the original Puremax. That hasn't actually arrived yet. There's going to be a separate, in fact there's going to be 2, coming to think of it, 2 separate videos, main videos to do with the Puremax 2, by the way. I'm going to be doing a separate video covering the new version 2 of the current Pro Pods, and there's also going to be a second separate video to do with the wallpaper dongle. There's a separate USB dongle that you can plug into the Puremax V2 in order to change the wallpaper, but that dongle hasn't actually arrived yet. So this video, we're going to be looking at the basics of the Puremax version 2. Let's have an up close and personal of this thing, shall we? So when you get this on retail, this is the packaging that's going to come in. It's going to come in various colours. Hopefully I remember to list the colours that the Puremax V2 comes in down below. So yeah, let's open this thing up. You get your Puremax V2 main battery body here. And if we open this up, what you also get is a little packaging. Now there is another drip tip, which is the one I've been using actually. You've got this longer drip tip here, 510 not threading, 510 connection at the base, and then you get this drip tip, which is much more closer to the standard drip tip that you get on the older pods, which is this one. So if you're a fan of this type of drip tip in the older pods, you've got that option here as well. So that's in the packaging. You get your USB-C charge cable, as you would expect. You also get your pod, as you would expect. This is the V2 pod. There's no actual drip tip in the top of this. And down here at the base of the packaging, you will get your warranty card. You'll also get your Puremax V2 user manual, and you'll get your first time filling instructions for the actual pod itself. So that's all the stuff that you get actually in the packaging. The various colours, which I'm going to be hopefully remember to list down there. The various colours, the packaging is basically the same, right? So the packaging's the same across the board. We're going to get all of this now and pop all this to one side like that. And let's have a look at the actual battery part first, which is this one here. If we get one of the original Puremaxes, which is, here we go, and pop them side by side. Oh, this one's covered in liquid. Because I thought as much. Yeah, I tipped a tank over on the table next to me, and it turned out this was sitting right next to it, because I'm an idiot. Right, we're just going to pop this side by side, and what you're going to be seeing here is the size difference between the two. The original gunmetal version, or quantum gunmetal version of the original Puremax, up against the gunmetal version of the Puremax version 2. There is definitely a major size difference between the two kits. One of the reasons being, if we look at the base down here, just zoom this in, you're going to be looking at a 1300 milliamp hour battery in this, which is a lot larger capacity wise compared to the original Puremax. Also, the Puremax V2, this has still got the sticker on it. Hold on, let's peel that off. There we go. The original Puremax didn't have this. So the old Puremax had the 4 lights that you're seeing down here for low power all the way up to high power. This one has got a full screen on it. There we go, no pod, and there's the full screen coming up there. Starting at the top, you do of course have the connections for the pod itself. You've got the 2 cutouts on either end so you can get access to the actual pod. On this side you've got nothing. On the back you've got the back, obviously, nothing on it there. You've got your airflow control on this side, and you've got your fire button and your main screen at the front. Now, yes, there is a lot of pod kits out there that have screens on them. It's become a thing in the e-cig industry when it comes to pods, but like the original Puremax, the Puremax V2 is kind of pushing the boundary quite a bit when it comes to the technology that's running behind the actual pod system. So if we head in to the actual main menu of this thing here, first of all, 1, 2, 3, that's going to lock everything. 1, 2, 3, that's going to unlock everything. If we go back into the menu, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we are in the menu. So first option, turn off, that's an obvious one. Second option is auto draw. If we press and hold, you have got draw, you have got fire button, and you have got draw plus the fire button. So you can either have the thing have just auto draw on all the time, fire button only, or you can set it up so it's fire button and auto draw at the same time. Let's go back into the menu again. Pre-alert, just let that settle in. Now, the pre-alert is a feature. Now, everyone knows that this little fella had the temp control. Well, it wasn't really a temp control, it was more of a dry burn protection system. So the Puremax V2 takes that dry burn protection system up a couple of notches. There is a vibration system in here now. So this one vibrates, the old V2, the old V1 doesn't. So when this thing, when the main battery part recognises that your pod is basically on the verge of running out of liquid, not even actually running out, on the verge of running out, it will begin to give you warnings. It will vibrate. You'll get a flashing little liquid sign, which I'll show you later on, a flashing little liquid sign on the main screen. That's the first stage of the warning. When the pod actually runs out of liquid, it will basically cut out. Now, don't ask me how they actually know this is happening with the pod on the verge of running out, but it does actually work, because this is the the second pod, and it's filled with a tobacco liquid right now. This is not, in fact, it's the third pod, coming to think of it. This is the third pod I've ran through this, and yeah, when it gets to round about that full, when there's like a sliver of liquid left at the bottom, that's when this thing starts to vibrate. It still fires, but it starts to vibrate, and then when the pod runs out, it just stops firing. So that's what the whole idea behind 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably because I don't have a pod in, that's why it's doing it. Let's pop a pod in first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So that's what the whole idea is behind the pre-alert. You can either have the pre-alert on, which gives the vibration and all the warnings, or have the pre-alert off and just completely ignore it. It's entirely up to you. Personally, I just keep it off, because I kind of know when the pod's beginning to run out, because I'm vaping and naturally extracted tobaccos up here. I can taste the change in the flavour as the pod is basically running dry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Head back in here. I got 1, 2, 3. Unlocked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now we're into theme. Now this is where the second of the 3 videos to do, in fact it might be the third of the 3 videos to do with the Puremax V2 is going to go, because the dongle actually plugs in. There's a wallpaper dongle that plugs into the base of this, but in the standard Puremax V2 there is various themes. There's theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, theme 4, theme 5, theme 6, and we're back to theme 1 again. Now, all of those themes come as standard, but you can actually put your own wallpaper in the background of these things. But to do that, you need the dongle, which is actually sold separately. I don't have the dongle in yet, but when the dongle does come in, it's going to get its own video to let people know how the thing actually works. On the main screen, what we've got here is the main readout. So you've got your wattage here, you've got your battery indicator here. That little blue liquid sign means that your pod has got liquid in it. However, if your pod is running out, or it's beginning to run out of liquid, there will be a big red cross on top of that, and it will blink. That's the warning system. There is your ohm readout there, and the puff counter there. Now the puff counter, because I'm actually recording behind the scenes to this, and the puff count was reading something like 375 for the behind the scenes on the Vaping with Vic review video that I'm going to be doing on my YouTube channel. This puff counter actually resets when you charge the device up. which I didn't even know about until the first time I charged, well, the second time actually, I charged the thing up. So that's something to look out for. The puff counter will reset when you charge this thing up. Talking about pods, what pods can you get with this? Now, these are the new version 2 pods. And with the version 2, or Pro 2 pods, you have got your PX12, which is the 1.2 ohm pods. You have also got your PX20, which is your 0.8 pods. These ones are my own personal favourite. You've got the PX25, which is the 0.6 ohm pods. And then you have got the PX... Oh, hold on. I've got two PX25s. Well, you've got this one, which is the 0.4. Just imagine I've got a 0.4 one here, right? You've got the PX35, which is the 0.4 ohm pods. So you've got 4 different ohms of pods going on with this particular bit of kit. And the big difference, and I'm going to do a very, very short clip about this because the pods are actually going to get their own video, probably next week, to do with this. The big difference between the original Pro pods, where you basically just grab the entire mouthpiece and twist it, and that opens the thing up. This has now got a 510 connection here, so you can actually pop your own 510 connected mouthpieces and drip tips into the pod. To open the thing up, you've got 2 lugs here. You just grab the lugs and then twist, and that opens everything up, ready to put your liquid in. Nothing else inside the coil has changed. The only thing that's changed is the juice lock mechanism has now got 2 little protruding lug things here that you can grab onto, and that way you can actually pop your own drip tip on top of the pod. And there we go, folks. That's the basic rundown. Again, it's the basic rundown of the Puremax V2. I am using one of the older Pro pods here. I've got this filled up with some Drake's Cavendish naturally extracted tobacco liquid, running this at 20 watts, and we're off. $20mg freebase, and I keep forgetting I made this tobacco liquid 20mg freebase. That was a bit of a throat hit. Oh yeah, that was a bit of a throat hit right there. So, the wattage on this is very easy to basically move up and down. Basically, all you need to do is, hold on. Oh, I've locked it again. 1, 2, 3, because I'm an idiot. Unlocked. All you need to do is hit the fire button 4 times, and then you get that showing up. Now, there's a bit of a story with the maximum wattage that you've got available for this particular pod, because it's got sensing technology in here. When you pop a 0.4 pod in here, the maximum wattage will automatically go up because it's a lower ohmed pod. When you put the 1.2 ohm pod in here, the maximum wattage will be automatically sensed to go lower because you've got a higher ohm pod. So there is variable wattage. You just need to hit the fire button 4 times to get into the variable wattage system to actually move the wattage up, and it will basically round robin up to the maximum and then automatically go down to the minimum. So depending on what pod you put in here, what ohms of pod you put in here, your max wattage will vary depending on the ohms of the pod. It's not a flat set out 0 to maximum limit. There is automatic sensing technology in here that will automatically adjust the wattage to what is the average for that type of pod you're putting in. But again, you can adjust the wattage. 4 clicks on the fire button to get into the wattage menu in this thing to bump the wattage up or bump the wattage down. And I think that basically covers everything, folks. And there we have it. What I'm going to say about this, about the Puremax V2, is the auto sensing technology when it comes to the pod and how much liquid is left inside the pod. I don't know how they're doing this. I honestly don't. With the old Puremaxes, not that one, that's the blue new one, this one. With the old Puremaxes, what the old one basically did is it basically shut down. You vaped the pod dry and it shut down. With this, you know what it's like when you're running a pod kit, right? You've got that sliver of liquid, maybe a milliliter of liquid left at the base of the pod. It's just enough to go over the bottom lip of the pod juice intake to slightly dampen the pod's juice intake, so the pod can still technically fire. It's at that point with other pod kits that you're on the verge of getting a dry hit. You're on the verge of getting a dry hit if you let the pod go down that low. With this, it starts vibrating, and you actually get the little blue liquid thing there flashing red with a stop sign going through it. You will still be able to fire the pod, but it's giving you warnings that your pod is about to run out. And when it does run out, it just cuts out, completely cuts out. This is the third pod I've ran through this, all with tobacco liquids in it. And with the first two pods, didn't get a dry hit, it just shut down. It just shut down. So there we go, folks. I'm not saying this just because I'm running the SXmini UK page, but the most technically advanced pod kit currently on the market. There, I said it, because it basically is. It's the most technically advanced pod kit currently on the market. Most other pod kits out there, if you let the pod run dry, you're going to get a dry hit. Practically all other pod kits out there on the market have no type of juice warning system that lets you know that the pod is on the verge of running out. And no other pod system out on the market has variable wattage, full colour screen, wallpaper change system, and the pod sensing system all in the same package. The most technically advanced pod kit currently on the market. Period. There's no other one out there like it. There simply isn't. Anyway, I need to stop vaping this as much because that's 20 milligram I've got in here. Again, this isn't a full review. I'm just giving you a little bit of my thoughts at the very end of this video. There is a multitude of full reviews out there, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Rumble, or whether it be written reviews on various forums out there. The Vaping with Vic YouTube channel will, of course, have my own thoughts and my own review thoughts to do with the Puremax V2. That should be out on my channel probably Friday or Saturday, one of those 2 days of this week. Anyway, that's it from me. Don't forget, there's 2 other videos to do with the Puremax V2 that will be coming out over the next 3 or 4 weeks. There's going to be one video about the wallpaper changing dongle once that arrives, and there's going to be a second video about the new Pro V2 pods that have launched alongside the new Puremax V2. That's it from me, folks. Have a good one.